Back in December, Alberta introduced mandatory cuts to production, a move designed to drive up the price of Alberta oil by reducing a glut. Months later, Alberta oil is getting that better price, but transportation costs went up as well, and oil companies gave the government's plan mixed reviews. The Alberta government has since responded by easing those production limits. Danielle Smith from Global News Radio, 770 CHQR, joins us now to continue this conversation. Where are you going with this conversation in your show today?
Well, I'm speaking with Tim Pickering from Auspice Capital, who has been sort of critical all the way along and a little skeptical as well. So he's one of the things that was the stated goal of the provincial government when they came through with curtailment was because our storage inventories were rising, that was putting downward pressure on price. And so their notion was that if you curtail by 325,000 barrels per day, you'll start drawing down those inventories and the markets will match our takeaway capacity. Great idea in theory. In practice, it's not happening. So they had anticipated that in the first quarter of this year that they would draw down 25 million barrels. Well, in fact, inventories are actually increasing. And now we've got a double whammy of a problem, because part of the issue we're facing with having full pipelines is that we began to rely on rail to take away the additional barrels so that we wouldn't see our inventories build. Well, now that the differential is narrowed so much, it's collapsed the takeaway on oil by rail because the companies just can't make money at it, which again then is causing the inventories to rise faster. What all this means is that eventually we're going to end up with the same problem. Too much oil in inventory, not enough takeaway capacity, which will impact prices. So I think his argument is going to be that this was just a temporary solution, gave us an immediate boost, but the long-term problems are still on the horizon. So I'm going to talk to him today to see what he would recommend the next step should be now that we find ourselves in the middle of it.
So when this first happened, I think all the political parties applauded the move and said it was the right move. So now that this followed is happening, what is the right steps for any provincial party that could be in power later this year?
It's a good question. I mean, the notion that this would have resolved itself, I think, was probably not the right answer, because let's remember how deep the differential was. It was down to, we were trading on some days at $11 a barrel. So we had a $50 discount on our oil, where the same quality of oil, the Mexican Mayan, is actually trading at a premium to WTI. So there was no justification for that. So letting the market figure it out would have resulted in all the small players ending up going out of business, and all of the vertically integrated players, the ones that are making money still on the refining, like Husky and Suncor, that they would have continued to make money. And I don't know how long it would have taken for that to resolve. So this is the problem. You're kind of in a situation of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And now that they've made the decision, which had the immediate impact, now they've got to manage some of the unintended consequences along the way. And so it's very difficult to tinker with markets. They're finicky little things when governments try to mess around with them. And so we're going to see whether or not there's an easy path out of this.
Yeah, and that's on your show starting at 9:30 today. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.